All right, so we've created a profile to model the parapet and the lower roof profile, and then we're gonna modify the exterior wall as well. And so by that I mean, let's take a look at some photographs. We're all about detailing this week, so let's make sure you guys have everything you need to do this work. So let's take a look at the exterior of the building. We've held off on doing this work until now, but this week we'll pick up these finishing touches. So for example here, this is a profile sticking out the top of the windows that needs to be added to the model. There's a horizontal profile here added to the model. There's a piece here that's a different material than the brick that needs to get added to the model. And so these details need to be incorporated into the project. We've done this one just now, this one here, but now we're going to pick up a few more details. So we've already have some of the skills we need because these are all custom profiles. So I didn't mean to do that. So if we find those details in the set of drawings, we can incorporate these horizontal members and these members here and stop them and start them exactly where they've shown here in the elevations. And so let's attempt to do that. Look at the drawing set. There will be there's a window detail right there. It's right there. 10 3/4. And it's in this kind of profile. It looks like this. Looks like this. Make up the dimensions if you don't have a way of determining what size this is. But this is 10 3/4 inches, and this is a 3 5/8. I mean, it says it's 8-inch lintel. Maybe it's 8 inches from here to here. Maybe that distance is 8 inches. Looks like 8 by 10 3/4. That detail is a profile. So go back into Revit and make a new profile. I'm going to delete this profile here. I'm not delete. I'm going to close it. I'm going to make a new family profile for the sake of the elevations. New family. It's called a profile family. It's right here. Profile family. Open. And I'm going to draw that detail. And so here I'll go line command, and you can draw it any quadrant you want. You'll see the results when you place it in the model. But let's say I draw it right here, and this is going to be 8 inches thick, so 8 inches, and it's going to be 10 3/4 tall, so 10.75, and then it has got like a little step in here at some point. You see it has a little step right there, and you can decide where you want that to be. So I'm just going to duplicate this down 2 inches. I'm going to take this. I'm going to copy it down 2 inches. I'm going to take this and copy it back 1 inch maybe, and I'll trim these corners. This is the profile. Let's save it. Save it for later. So save family. This is John's lintel. Lintel. Load it into the project. Okay, done. Okay, how do I get that thing to be on top of this wall? How do I get that to work? So what you want to do here in Revit is you want to use what's called a wall sweep. That's the command you can use. So basically, a wall sweep allows you to add a 3D object to the surface of the wall. So I go wall sweep, and you'll wind up with this 3D model. It looks like it'll disappear for a second when you click on the wall, but when I hit enter, it shows up. There it is right there. This is the wall sweep object. It's a 3D model. If I click on it, it's currently called cornice. And I'm going to customize it to look like my profile. It's kind of like a sweep. In fact, that's what it's like, a sweep, basically. So this object here, I'll go here and go edit type, and I'm going to duplicate this, and I'm going to call it John's lintel. And in this menu, they have an option here to load a profile. And that's exactly what we just created, a profile family. So if I come in here, I can find John's lintel right there because it's been loaded already into my file. And here I can add a material. So here I can basically come in here and type, I don't know, concrete, precast concrete. Fine. Let's do that. So this is my custom lintel. I duplicated this cornice. I called it John's lintel, and I hit apply, and there it shows up. And you see it here, it went inside the building. Right? That's not that. It's facing the wrong direction. It's basically flipped over from where it should be. And that's a quick fix. You basically come here, you take this model and you flip it over. So use the mirror command, and you don't copy it, make a single copy, and you flip it over that line. You flip it over, make sure these edges here are intact, and then you save it, and then you load it into the model, and it'll ask for an update. Override the existing version, flips it over. Perfect. So there's the lintel, but it's outboard of the wall, right? It's sticking way out, much further than we really should. And so we need to adjust its location and elevation. So in the floor plan view, I'm going to turn on my annotation so I can find my elevation tag. I launch the elevation drawing. I grab this object. I make it shorter. Let's take a look at where it belongs, though. It should basically run the length of the building to the second window. It should span this window, and it should follow. There's gaps in between, basically. And so this goes over to here, and I'm going to line it up with this window. Use the align command to that window, line it up to the bottom of there. That's where it belongs. I can take that object, and I can duplicate it. Another one up there. I can take it, this copy, and stretch it to become the new and improved length it belongs to. So I'm going to line it up with here, line up to here, line up this edge to this edge. You guys can do the others. But there's that object. And then take a look at it in section, and you're going to see what's happening in section and make an adjustment. So for example, here, right above the window. So what's happening? It's right there. There it is. I can turn on my fine level of detail and look at more information here. I can turn on my colors if it's necessary. Okay, this is the brick. This is the lintel. And the set of drawings tell us that the back of the lintel lines up with the back of the brick. It lines up here. So to make that happen, you simply grab the lintel here, and you see here it has an offset from wall, and I want to move it. It's either positive or negative. You have to try. Negative 3 5/8 is the thickness of a brick. And there, I moved it back negative, 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 3 5/8. I'm looking at the other one off in the distance. And now it's embedded inside the wall. It doesn't look correct. It doesn't look accurate. I think it's too thick. You see, I don't think that's more than, let's say, an inch. 3 5/8. I mean, this thing probably sticks out. Maybe 6 inches. It's not 8. This looks like it's outboard much further than it really is. But that's a quick fix because we have the file saved. We have a file here that lets me adjust this picture and grab these lines here and move them back, let's say 2 inches. Load it into the project, and it will overwrite the existing version with this new improved version. And you see here, it's much closer to the building. So there it is. It's now embedded inside the wall right there, and then you can make an adjustment and make it thicker if you like. But there you have it. This object here can also be across the side here, so I can basically make another wall sweep called John's Lintel and place it here. It disappears until you hit enter. Then it shows up here. I suggest you line them up. So take the bottom of this and line up with the bottom of that. And you probably want them to be recessed in the same dimension. So this is -3 5/8. Click on this one. Use the same number for the offset, -3 5/8. So now they're both in the same place. And align the bottom of this piece here. You can do this in elevation as well, whatever's easiest. I'm going to go to elevation because I don't trust the align command in that location. Here, just look at it from the side view here. Just draw a little temporary section. Show you those two objects here. Align the bottom of this to the bottom of that, and watch what happens. It completes the corner. This thing should not be going inside the building. At least I don't think it does. Maybe I'm not right, but I don't know. I don't think this detail goes inside the building. Let me see if I can look through the front door. That, I don't know if that's a reflection, but I'm going to terminate it right there at the storefront. And so here, it went too far. I just pull it back, grab the grip, grab this object, grab the grip, and pull it back to the face of that curtain wall right there. And so now in 3D, you've got that detail in there. Easy as that. So you're going to build these. What's nice about this is that these are flexible. You can move these up and down, left and right. You can stretch your grips and place them anywhere you like. And it adds a level of flexibility to the model. I don't know where the other one went. Was here a second ago. I don't know what happened to it, but I'm not sure why that disappeared. A little unpredictable sometimes. Copy that to there, and then I'm going to line up these edges again. Hopefully it stays put this time. Okay, there, as an example. Okay, any questions about that? Those techniques? Adding a wall sweep to a surface. The trick is to basically have a profile loaded, saved in a folder that you can go back later and change and load the revisions into your model. So it's a way of safekeeping this profile, and then you can use the same profile on other projects basically. So you build a library of these details. Everybody still follow? Inset, you click on the wall sweep, and you use the offset from wall command right there, and you use a positive or negative number depending on what direction you want to go in. The best thing to do is cut a section through the window. Cut a section through it and watch it move left and right by changing this offset number. This is only here because I lined up with the top of the window, so that's the number it came up with when I lined it up to the bottom, to the top of that window. These can be placed anywhere. The other detail that we can create as an example is this detail here. If you want to make it look more like this, this detail, you've already learned how to do this. There's a band right here. Now I don't know if that band's going to show up in detail, so let's take a look. Does that horizontal band here They call this a limestone band, 3/8 of an inch. Extend 3/8 of an inch over the face brick, and you see it's pretty deep. That piece right there, that member right there. Again, you can draw that as well and place it at a certain height. Now, depending on where this wall is being used, select all the objects in the entire project. Let's see where this wall is being used. Wall is being used everywhere. So I won't show you the following. I wouldn't recommend the next technique because it's going to affect the walls inside the building as well as the outside the building. I don't think that's prudent. Let me take a look at the interior of the building. Let me just check and see if the wall has a band. These walls don't have a band here at the bottom. So I'm not gonna show you a technique that's gonna draw that band everywhere. I'll circle back to that command in a second to show you how it's done, but let's work on this little area here. So if I wanted to build this out here, depending on if you want the sill or not, you can build that entire object here as a profile, a custom profile that you build into the wall at the thickness shown here. Or you can build a sill, and this piece down here below is a split face. You know, there's no reason why you couldn't launch an elevation of that drawing of this view here. Here's the elevation, and you can carve out this piece of wall here on both sides of that window and paint it a different material, like the split face for the floor. It's not going to be constructed accurately. So if the intention is to make the sections more accurate, this is not going to be the trick. This is more of a design tool. But I can try it. I can go modify and split face, select this wall, and then here draw the boundaries of my split face, which is basically that line to there and that line to here, to cut off this part of the wall here. Then when I hit OK, I can then come back because I now have joints there. Excuse me. I come back and paint that area, I don't know, with concrete or something. Obviously, you probably want to find a material that's more suitable, but you know, let me just grab precast concrete as an example and paint it here. And there you have it. Right? So I painted that. This section was still going to show brick down there, but this is a very quick way of changing materials on a surface where the cross section is not important to me to display correctly. Otherwise, I would build this as a detail and add it to the wall in a similar fashion that I added that lintel. So you have that option as well. So these windows all get sills. So if the buildings behind me, they all get these little, you see there's a band right there. And that band is sticking out 3/8 of an inch away from the wall. And it does not have the same profile as up here. It's a little bit, maybe, I don't know how thick that is, but make up a number and place it in there. But you just draw a profile that is a little deeper than 3 5/8, and then apply it to the wall, and it will build this this detail. If I take my current one, just to show you, if I take my current sweep and add it to the entire wall, you see it actually skips over, hit enter. If it ran into a wall, a window in the wall, you see here, it goes on top of that window. And I believe there's a tool in here that lets me, you see cut by inserts? If I chose that option, it should cut out the lintel when it reaches a wall opening, like a window or door. Hit apply, and you see it cut out the opening because the opening is an opening in the wall, so it cut through the lintel here. So if it was up above here, it'll cut through those windows as well. If it was a little bit higher, see that? Cuts around the windows. So, and this is one continuous model, by the way. This is one model that it cut out that opening only because this object here has edit type and the cut by insert is checked. You also want to cut the wall. That's how I embedded it inside the wall. It cuts through the wall. All right. So you can make that horizontal detail around. There's a band that traces around the building at the very bottom of that window. You can band pretty quickly. In the same fashion as I built out these. This I must have moved that window or something because this window is now higher than that one. I'm not sure what happened there, but nonetheless, you guys get the idea. You'll notice that Revit does have additional tools to do this work. You know, if I look at this wall here, this is a wall, and you can see it's actually pretty intricate. So you guys are going to draw this horizontal member here. You're going to draw the lintels above, and the top of the wall should have a, I think is there a coping up there? Let me see. No, they'll look like this. I think that's pretty much all the exteriors of the building are going to have the same, yeah, the same metal coping. Okay, so if I take a look here, they've got all types of things happening here. They got a detail sitting on top of the wall. They've got a roll lock here inside the wall. They've got recesses here. You see those carved out recesses right there? They got those in the wall. They've got another one down here, and they actually changed the material at the very bottom. There's a lot going on here. We did not do it this way because if I built the wall this way with those details embedded in it, the entire wall would have that detail, and I can't remove it from one place to another. So then I wind up having to make this wall a different wall with and without that lintel. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But these drawings are using the same profiles. And the profiles can be either what they call sweeps or reveals. Reveals cut a hole in the wall. Sweeps add something 3D model to the wall. If I did a reveal and I stuck it in this wall here and hit enter, you can see it cuts out a hole out of the wall with the 3D model. And the 3D model profile here is set to default. The default is a rectangle. But I can add another profile here and give it any shape I want, and that shape will cut through the wall and create a reveal like this one. If I moved it out from the wall 2 inches, negative 2 inches, I'm going the wrong direction, it's going to come out toward me negative, let's see, 3 inches. I don't know how deep that profile is, but I'm pushing it out toward me to make the reveal a little more shallower. You see this little shelf here is coming out toward me. Looks like I went too far, -5. See, I made a 1-inch recess. So there's a little reveal there. It's an invisible 3D model. All that work, adding these details, either a sweep or a reveal, can actually be recorded inside the wall. If I look at this thing, go edit type, you'll see here in the structure, I can change this to a section. Here's a section. And you can see here, these objects here are actually causing recesses in the wall. This object here has been planted on top of the wall. This detail here, the soldier course, is embedded inside the wall. And all those objects are modified here at the bottom of the screen. sweeps or reveals. If I click on sweeps, here's what they're doing. They basically added profiles to the wall and saved it inside the wall itself. They added something called a parapet cap, 16 inches wide. They gave it a concrete material. It's 0 inches from the top of the wall. So basically it sits above the wall here, the very, very top. That detail there, that's the profile somebody drew and saved it as a family, a profile family. They then selected it from the list. Our profile is right there. All the profiles are loaded. Here's my lintel. They added it to the list with the insert command. Here's load profile. Here's add. They get in the material. They have it sit on top of the wall at 0 from the top, and then it doesn't move left or right. Offset, and then they have this. I forget which is which. The setback. This one here is a wall sweep, which is going to cut a hole out. The wall. These are all sweeps actually. So it's not going to cut a hole out. The sweep is here. Sorry, I misspoke there. Here's a sweep here. This piece right there is a sweep right here. This one here turns blue. 3'4" from the bottom, precast concrete, and then these dimensions are 0, 0 to adjust the position. And then the one at the top is the brick. Basically, they just loaded a brick, a vertical brick shape here. You see that brick right there. So here they loaded a brick. It's called a soldier, a brick soldier from the list. One brick. It's 1 brick tall. It's made out of brick material. It's 1'4" from the top. So from the very top, go down 1'4" and put inside the wall, and then move it into the wall, -3 5/8. So it push it inside the wall, and it's cutting through the wall. So it's replacing what's inside the wall with this brick. And the same is true for sweeps. The sweeps are here, what they call reveals. Not sweeps, reveals. Basically, they're using this brick shape, which is a rectangle. These are the locations of the sweeps from the bottom, either from the top or the bottom, you decide. And then they are not offset. So these are the areas that are carving out these. This is a brick loaded here. It's carving that out right there. You can make your own custom sweeps and cut through a wall like that. This is recorded inside this wall here called brick and CMU on metal stud. If we did it here, it would add that detail everywhere. And there's no way to remove those wall by wall. So it's all or nothing. That's why I did not use it. I used it on the spot here by using the sweep command inside the wall tool. But if the detail is consistent, there's no reason why you couldn't have saved it as a new wall type and just record these locations inside the wall. So you have some flexibility there. Okay. Any questions so far? Anyone else? Got one reply. I'm assuming everyone's in class still. I've got 2 people replying. Everyone else seems to be not attending or don't have any questions. No questions. Okay. Okay. So it looks like people are clear. So is there anything else you want me to go over regarding those commands that is a little confusing still? Because now after this week, the entire exterior of the building should be articulated correctly. It should look more close, design-wise, it should look more closely to this design here. with these details here and here. I don't think you need the one at the bottom here, because I think that's because of there's a, let me check. No, actually there is a detail here at the bottom. That could be done with a split face, or you can add that little concrete base detail to the wall type, because it doesn't stop and start. Like it's continuous everywhere. It runs the entire length of the building. It's inside and outside the building. I'm assuming I can see it from inside the building photos. So because here it's inside the building right there, that can be saved as the part of the wall. You probably want to add that to part of the wall.